1950s was a time when life was simpler, and snacks were an adventure all their own. Back then, every kitchen had a cookie jar, soda fountains were the place to be, and snacks weren't just about eating. They were about sharing moments and making memories. Today, we're taking a trip back in time to explore the forgotten 50s snacks that once brought us so much joy but have sadly disappeared. Let's dive in and see if you remember any of these tasty treats. The original fizz, soda pop candy. Do you remember the thrill of popping soda-flavored candies in your mouth? Soda pop candy came in little bottles that mimicked real soda, with flavors like root beer, cola, and orange. You'd suck on them, savoring the fizzy sweetness, and feel oh so cool pretending you were drinking soda from a miniature bottle. Do you remember saving up your allowance to buy a pack at the corner store? Space-age snacks. Flying saucer wafers. The 50s were all about space-age dreams, and snacks followed suit. Flying saucer wafers were little pastel-colored discs filled with tiny candy beads. They were light, airy, and fun to eat. Kids loved pretending they were astronauts munching on futuristic food. Can you still imagine the texture of those wafers melting in your mouth? Kugel peanut butter spread. Kugel wasn't your average peanut butter, it was flavored. Think chocolate, banana, vanilla, or cinnamon peanut butter spreads that made every sandwich a treat. The jar had a funky, colorful design, and kids couldn't get enough of the sweet, creamy goodness. Which Kugel flavor was your favorite? By the way, if this trip down memory lane is making you smile, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I'd love to share more nostalgic snacks and stories with you. Candy cigarettes. Back in the 50s, kids thought they were the coolest when they held a stick of candy that looked just like a cigarette. These chalky, sweet sticks came in realistic packaging, and while they wouldn't fly today, they were a huge hit back then. Kids would blow pretend smoke or crunch down on the candy for a quick sugar rush. Do you remember feeling like a little rebel with one of these? TV dinners with mini brownies. While not technically a snack, the dessert in a TV dinner often stole the show. Those little brownies in the aluminum trays were gooey, chocolatey, and perfectly portioned. Eating them while watching your favorite show felt like the height of modern living. Who else remembers that little corner of the tray being the best part of dinner? Popcorn balls. Popcorn balls were a 50s classic, especially around Halloween. Made with gooey caramel or colorful syrups, they were sticky, sweet, and so much fun to eat. You'd unwrap one and spend a good while nibbling away at the chewy goodness. Do you remember making or eating these treats during special occasions? Wax bottles with sweet liquid. Inside, who could forget wax bottles? You'd bite off the top, sip the sugary liquid inside, and then chew on the wax like gum. It wasn't the most efficient snack, but it was so much fun. Those colorful little bottles were a staple in every candy shop. Which flavor did you always go for first? Atomic Fireballs. If you loved a spicy kick, Atomic Fireballs were your go-to treat. These little red candies packed a fiery punch and left your mouth tingling. It was almost a rite of passage to see how long you could keep one in your mouth without spitting it out. Do you remember challenging your friends to a fireball face-off? Ribbon candy. Ribbon candy was a holiday favorite, but it lingered in candy dishes year-round in the 50s. The delicate, colorful strips of hard candy looked as beautiful as they tasted. Often homemade or sold at local shops, ribbon candy was a little piece of art that melded on your tongue. Who else remembers trying not to break it before taking a bite? Jell-O salad snacks. Jell-O wasn't just a dessert in the 50s, it was a snack too. People turned it into all sorts of concoctions like Jell-O molds with whipped cream, fruit, or even savory veggies. It was colorful, jiggly, and a little odd by today's standards, but back then, it was the height of creativity. Did your family have a favorite Jell-O snack recipe? Hostess snowballs. These marshmallow-covered chocolate cakes with a coconut coating were an iconic 50s treat. Their bright colors and gooey texture made them irresistible to kids, and they were a lunchbox favorite. Do you remember peeling off the marshmallow layer first, or diving straight in? Candy buttons. Candy buttons were strips of colorful sugar dots stuck to a paper sheet. You'd carefully peel them off, usually ending up with a bit of paper stuck to your candy, and enjoy the sweet, crunchy treat. It was oddly satisfying and fun, even if your fingers got sticky. Which color was your favorite? Neapolitan ice cream sandwiches. 3 flavors in one treat: vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, sandwiched between soft chocolate cookies. These were a frozen delight that felt like a special indulgence on a warm day. Do you remember trying to eat each flavor separately or taking a big bite of all 3? Butterscotch discs. These golden hard candies were a classic for grandparents to share, but kids loved them too. Their rich, buttery flavor made them feel like a more grown-up candy. Who else remembers sneaking one from a candy dish at a family gathering? Peanut brittle. This crunchy, caramelized peanut treat was both delicious and a bit of a challenge to eat without breaking a tooth. It was a staple at fairs, candy shops, and holiday gatherings. The sugary, nutty flavor was unforgettable. Did your family make homemade peanut brittle, or did you always buy it at the store? Lucky Elephant popcorn. This pink, sugary popcorn came in a box with a little prize inside, much like Cracker Jack. The sweet coating and the excitement of discovering a toy made it a beloved treat. Do you remember ripping open a box to see what surprise was waiting for you? Root beer barrels. Root beer barrels were a long-lasting candy that delivered the sweet, spicy flavor of root beer in a tiny, hard candy form. Perfect for road trips or after-school snacking, these were a must-have for kids who loved soda-flavored treats. How many could you keep in your pocket at once? Chocolate malt balls. Malted milk balls like Whoppers were a popular 50s snack that paired crunchy malted centers with creamy chocolate. They were a go-to movie theater treat and perfect for sharing. Or not. Did you ever try to eat just the chocolate layer first? Saltwater taffy. Although more associated with beach towns, saltwater taffy was a staple in candy shops throughout the 50s. With flavors ranging from vanilla to licorice, it was a chewy, stretchy treat that lasted forever. Do you remember carefully unwrapping each piece to savor the moment? Moon pies. This marshmallow-filled sandwich, coated in chocolate or vanilla, was a nostalgic snack that satisfied every sweet tooth. Paired with a cold soda, it was a classic 50s combo. Did you ever toast a moon pie for an extra gooey treat? Bonomo Turkish taffy. This chewy, stretchy candy was a 50s favorite. You could freeze it and crack it into pieces or just enjoy the workout of biting into its sticky, sweet goodness. Flavors like chocolate, vanilla, banana, and strawberry made it a hit with everyone. Do you remember the satisfying snap when you broke off a piece? Sugar Daddy Caramel Pops. Sugar Daddy was the king of caramel candies. These long-lasting, sticky caramel pops were both a challenge and a delight to eat. They were a staple in candy shops and corner stores, perfect for keeping kids busy for hours. Who else remembers having to pry one off the wrapper? Cracker Jack with original prizes. Cracker Jack was more than just caramel-coated popcorn and peanuts. It was an experience. Each box came with a prize, like tiny toys or paper puzzles, that made snack time even more exciting. Do you remember the thrill of opening a box just to see what prize you'd get? Banana cream pies in a can. Single-serve banana cream pies in a can were a quick and convenient dessert in the 50s. With their creamy filling and crumbly crust, they felt like a fancy treat you could enjoy at home or on the go. Who else remembers the excitement of popping open a can and diving in with a spoon? Lifesavers, butter rum flavor. Lifesavers were a classic candy, but the butter rum flavor stood out as a 50s favorite. With its creamy, buttery taste, it felt more sophisticated than your average sweet treat. They were perfect for keeping in your pocket or sharing with a friend. Do you still crave that rich, buttery flavor? Fizzy's Drink Tablets. Fizzies were little flavored tablets that you'd drop into a glass of water, instantly transforming it into a fizzy soda-like drink. They came in flavors like cherry, grapes, and orange, making them a fun DIY treat for kids. Watching the tablet bubble and fizz was half the fun. Do you remember sipping on a homemade fizzy on a sunny afternoon? Chocolate-covered potato chips. A mix of sweet and salty, chocolate-covered potato chips were a novelty snack in the 50s. They were the perfect treat for anyone who couldn't decide between candy and chips. The crunch of the chip paired with the smooth chocolate coating was a unique indulgence. Did you ever sneak a bag of these into the movies? Maple buns. Maple buns were a deliciously sweet candy bar with a nutty crunch and creamy maple filling, all wrapped in chocolate. They were rich, satisfying, and a favorite for anyone who loved maple-flavored treats. Do you remember slowly savoring one to make it last as long as possible? The snacks of the 50s weren't just about flavors. They were about memories. They took us back to soda fountains, after-school treats, and family gatherings. Each bite was a little piece of joy, and though many of these snacks are long gone, they live on in our hearts. What about you? Do you remember any of these treats? Or maybe one we didn't mention? Share your favorite 50s snack memories in the comments, and let's relive those sweet moments together.